everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm solving Leetcode question 560. Subarray sum equals k. Given an array of integer nums and an integer k, return the total number of subarrays whose sum equals to k. A subarray is a contiguous, non-empty sequence of the elements within an array. So for the example 1, this nums array has 3 elements. 1, and then the k equals to 2. There are 2 subarray, so the subarray starting at index 0 and at index 1, or the subarray start at index 1 and at index 2. For example 2, k equals 3, there are 2 subarray as well. First subarray 1, 2, the second subarray 3. So how to solve this one? The most brutal first way is trying to find every possible subarray and then check if the sum of the subarray equals to k. So that's the most brutal fourth way. So a more optimal way to try to solve it, let's try to solve it within ON, which means let's try to loop through this given array nums once and then try to find out the solution. So let's see from the very beginning. Right now, when we look at the element at index 0, our cumulative sum, including this element, is just 1, 1 less than 2, and then move to the next element. So when we look at the element at index 1, the cumulative sum right now is 2, so it equals to the k. So in that case, we find the subarray starting from index 0 up until the index 1. Okay, continue loop through the array nums. So next element is at index 2. So in this case, the cumulative sum is 3. So it's greater than our given k. However, is it possible, let's say, to remove some some first or left part of this array to find the subarray that satisfies k equals 2. So in that case, let's say if we remove the element at index 0, and then we are left with the element as index 1 and 2. And then in that case, we got our k equals 2. So let's start coding. So we want to utilize let's say we want to utilize the dictionary. Let's call it prefix sum. Let's say from collections import default dictionary. Let's say initialize this to the integer, and then we want to have a element to keep track of the cumulative sum. So initialize it to 0, and then let's try to loop through every element in the numbers for x in the nums array. So we update the cumulative sum, and then after we updated the cumulative sum, let's check if the current cumulative sum equals k. In that case, we find 1. So in that case, before we enter the loop, we need to initialize a variable count to keep track of the number of subarrays. So if the cumulative sum equals k, it means we find the subarray. So that subarray just starts from index 0 up until the current element. So in that case, we update our count. Let's say if the cumulative sum minus k, if this is already in prefix sum, Remember the scenario when we got the cumulative sum equals 3, and then 3 is greater than 2, and then we check 3 minus 2, 1. 1 is actually a prefix sum that's already we can already put that in the dictionary. So once we remove that, we can find another subarray. So in that case, we update the sum to be the prefix sum. Cum sum minus k. And then we update prefix sum, cum sum, update this one. And then we just return count. So let's run the code.